There's a question burning in the depths of your soul right now, one you've been afraid to whisper, even in your most private moments. God, do you still have a plan for my life? Or have I wandered too far from your will? You wake up each morning carrying the weight of uncertainty, don't you? The decisions that haunt you, the paths you didn't take, the dreams that feel like distant echoes. You've been living in the space between what was and what could be, wondering if God's voice has grown silent or if you've simply forgotten how to hear it. Place your hand on your heart right now. Feel that rhythm. That's not just your heartbeat. That's the sound of divine purpose still pulsing through your veins. Every beat is a reminder that your story isn't over, that God's will for your life hasn't expired with your mistakes or your age. The enemy wants you to believe that you've missed your moment, that God's perfect will sailed past you while you were looking the other way. But here's what hell doesn't want you to know. God's will isn't a train you missed. It's a river that flows wherever you are, ready to carry you into his perfect plan. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Can you feel it? That stirring in your spirit? That's not anxiety. That's anticipation. That's your soul recognizing that this morning everything changes. This isn't just another day of wondering and wandering. This is the morning when heaven breaks open over your life and God speaks his will with unmistakable clarity. You didn't wake up by accident. You were awakened by divine appointment. The same God who spoke light into existence is about to speak direction into your confusion, purpose into your pain, and breakthrough into your barriers. Declare this with faith. God, I am ready to hear your voice. I am ready to walk in your will. I am ready for the breakthrough that changes everything. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Now let's get your spirit aligned with heaven's frequency. You've been tuning into the wrong stations. The voice of fear, the whispers of doubt, the static of past failures. But this morning, we're adjusting your spiritual antenna to receive God's clear transmission. There's a reason you feel restless in your spirit. It's not because you're lost, it's because you're being repositioned. Like a compass needle spinning before it finds true north, your soul has been searching, seeking, reaching for divine alignment, and today the spinning stops. Touch your forehead and pray with me. God, clear the frequency of my mind. Remove every voice that isn't yours. Let your will be the loudest sound in my spirit. You know what's beautiful about God's will? It's not hiding from you. It's not playing cosmic hide and seek while you stumble around in spiritual darkness. God's will is pursuing you more passionately than you're pursuing it. He wants you to know his plan more than you want to know it. Think about Moses at the burning bush. He was just going about his ordinary day when God interrupted with extraordinary purpose. David was in the fields when Samuel came looking for the next king. Esther was in exile when God positioned her for such a time as this. Your ordinary morning is about to become your burning bush moment. Lift your hands and receive this. God's will isn't complicated. It's been simplified by his love for you. It's not a puzzle you have to solve. It's a path you have to walk. It's not a mystery you have to unravel. It's a relationship you have to embrace. The confusion you've been feeling, that's not God being unclear. That's you trying to figure out with your mind what can only be discerned with your spirit. Today, we're switching from mental gymnastics to spiritual sensitivity. Speak this declaration. I stop trying to figure out God's will and start flowing with God's Spirit. I stop analyzing and start trusting. I stop questioning and start following. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. This is the moment heaven has been waiting for, not just this morning, but for months, maybe years. God has been preparing this breakthrough, orchestrating circumstances, moving people, shifting situations, all leading to this divine appointment between his will and your willingness. Kneel if you can, or bow your heart if you must, and pray this with desperate faith. God, I come before you not as someone who has it all figured out, but as someone who desperately needs your guidance. I've been walking in circles when you've been calling me to walk in purpose. I've been making decisions based on fear when you've been offering me faith. Speak your will over my life right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when I feel more ready. Right now. I'm tired of living in the maybe and the what if. I'm ready for the certainty of your voice and the confidence of your direction. Break through every barrier that has kept me from hearing you clearly. Break through the noise of other people's opinions. Break through the trauma that made me doubt your goodness. Break through the disappointments that made me question your timing. Break through the fear that made me settle for less than your best. I surrender my timeline to your timing. I surrender my plans to your purpose. I surrender my understanding to your wisdom. I surrender my will to your will. Now, in the silence, listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. God is speaking. Can you hear it? That gentle whisper, that sudden knowing, that peace that surpasses understanding. That's God's will making itself known to your heart. Don't dismiss it as just a feeling. That's how God speaks to his children, through the inner witness of his spirit. That sudden clarity about a decision you need to make, that unexpected peace about a situation you've been worried about, that gentle nudge toward a path you hadn't considered. That's God's will being revealed. Stand up and declare, I receive God's will over my life. I will not second guess what he's shown me. I will not let fear talk me out of what faith has revealed. I will walk in the breakthrough that has been released over my life this morning. Just whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Isaiah 30:21. Something has shifted in the spiritual realm. Can you feel it? The atmosphere around you has changed. What felt heavy now feels light. What felt confusing now feels clear. What felt impossible now feels inevitable. That's the power of aligning with God's will. Everything else has to align with it. Place both hands over your heart and receive this activation. You are no longer a person wondering about God's will. You are a person walking in God's will. You are no longer seeking direction. You are following direction. You are no longer hoping for breakthrough. You are living in breakthrough. The decisions that seemed so complicated yesterday have become simple today. Not because the circumstances changed, but because your perspective changed. You're no longer looking at your life through the lens of limitation. You're seeing it through the lens of divine possibility. Declare this over your week. Every door I need to walk through will open. Every door I need to avoid will close. Every person I need to meet will cross my path. Every opportunity I need to see will become visible. Every resource I need will become available. You know what happens when you walk in God's will. You stop forcing things that aren't meant to be, and you start flowing with things that are meant to be. You stop pushing against closed doors, and you start walking through open ones. You stop trying to make things happen, and you start letting God make things happen through you. This is your new reality. You are a person of divine purpose, walking in divine direction with divine backing. The same God who parted the Red Sea is parting the way for you. The same God who made the sun stand still is making time work in your favor. The same God who raised Jesus from the dead is raising up opportunities, relationships, and breakthroughs in your life. Shout this declaration: I am aligned with heaven's will. I am walking in divine purpose. I am living in breakthrough. Nothing can stop what God has started in my life. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Psalm 37:23. Look at yourself now. You're not the same person who woke up with that burning question in your soul. That question, God, do you still have a plan for my life? And has found its answer. Not in words, but in the witness of your spirit. Not in explanations, but in the experience of his presence. The uncertainty that clouded your mornings has been replaced by the certainty of His voice. The confusion that paralyzed your decisions has been replaced by the clarity of His direction. The fear that whispered, "You've missed your chance," has been silenced by the truth that declares, "Your time is now." This is your prophetic seal for the days ahead. Every morning you wake up, you will remember this moment. Every time doubt tries to creep in, you will recall this encounter. Every time fear tries to redirect you, you will return to this revelation. You have heard from heaven, and heaven's word does not return void. Receive this final blessing. May your steps be ordered by divine wisdom. May your words be guided by divine love. May your decisions be illuminated by divine light. May your breakthrough be sustained by divine power. May your life be a testimony of what happens when someone says yes to God's will. You are no longer wandering in the wilderness of uncertainty. You are walking in the promised land of purpose. You are no longer questioning God's plan. You are participating in God's plan. You are no longer hoping for breakthrough. You are living as breakthrough. The question that burned in your soul this morning has been transformed into the declaration that will define your destiny. God has spoken His will over my life, and I will walk in it with faith, courage, and unwavering trust. Your mornings will never be the same. You have been activated with eternal purpose, sealed with divine direction, and launched into the breakthrough that changes everything. If this prayer has touched your heart, write "God's will be done" in the comments and share how the Spirit moved in your life today. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28.